Astrology, I had always been saying that it's a science. And we can beautifully use astrology to do the mapping of a person, how the person is, qualities of the person. We can come to know what are the weaknesses of the person. We can come to know how the behavior of the person is, what are the person's focus, which area, what things. And looking at these charts, we can also map how the person will be behaving today, how the person will be reacting and behaving after 2 years, and what will be the growth patterns. When we look at the charts, we can also understand what all opportunities the person will be getting later on, and how the reactions and how the behavior of the person when the opportunities will come will be of. We can also know how the person will be. Will the person will be fickle-minded, or he's authoritative or insistence in nature? And on the other side, we can also come to know whether the person is emotional, practical. And lastly, we can come to know how truthful the person is, how loyal the person will be. When we can map all these things, this comes beautifully very useful when we talk about doing astrology for the corporate houses. So many corporate houses keep on approaching me when they are looking for employees. So nowadays, it's not only about doing the interview with the HR, but it is furthermore when we can go deeper and find out how the person is. That means even the mapping of a person is done by some astrologer. Branded, like big brand, like brand corporates are now indulging into this. Earlier, people who used to approach me were locals, individual business entrepreneurs. But now, not only people who are taking maids or servants in their houses, or even like small workers, which I used to get like regularly asking whether this maid will stay, whether she will be truthful, whether she will take care of our kids properly, whether she will stick around or leave after some time. These questions were very often asked. But now these questions have gone much more deeper, because now the corporate culture is also moving into towards astrology. Now these corporate houses, what they are seeking? The biggest problem corporate face is employee retention. Now their first question is this employee, or whether like any potential employee which they are looking at, is the person who will stick longer? Will the person will carry his goals longer and will be able to stick along? Or is a person like who is just running after money and small increment getting from somebody else and he'll jump over the boat? These corporate are willing to know also whether he's a team member potential person or not. Is he individualistic, or whether he can work in a team? Whether he will create politics out there, or whether he will give positive energies out there. Corporates are worried more over a thing, whether he is just projecting, whether he just want to take the gain from other people, or whether he will be contributing in making other people grow along. When we look at these things, this is the first model of it. But when we look deeper, we try to see whether the person in his chart or her charts has got growth dashas and transits also aligning. That means the person who may join has got potential to grow along also. If the person don't have a potential to grow along, even if the company is growing, the person is no use. But if the person has got huge potential to grow, even if the company is not growing, the person will make sure that, or with his or her stars, make sure that the company grows along. When all these matters are sorted, then we try to map the person on the loyalty and truthfulness. Whether the person will be just creating fake images, or will that person creating or working on the truthful patterns. This is when we come about individual mapping. Now these corporate houses not only go for individual mapping. Obviously this person has to be put in some department. Department may be having 1 person, 10%, 20 people are working out there, 50 people working, in even in bigger companies few hundreds also working. Now they want to do the mapping of this individual with all the others in that department and how he will fit in or she will fit in that. And they are maintaining huge datas with us, and these datas we maintain and consistently keep on looking at them. Say some big corporates want monthly, some want on say half a year, 6 months, and some want annual. This is like appraisal patterns also. So if one person has performed in 1 year, is it sure that person will perform in the next year? Is there any leadership qualities? So it is not only mapping by the HR department, it is now the astrologer's role also, because now we can prove it that astrology is science and it works accurately in assessing any individual, any situations around it, and that's how it's worked. Try checking. There are so many budding astrologers like who will be looking at this video, and they will be like trying to look into it, what like I'm trying to explain. Pick up a chart of a person, anybody, your employee, your like colleague, your even like your anybody in the house. Looking at the chart, assess how that person is, just understanding, mapping the person. With that, map how that person will be gelling with other people around you or anybody, and think your own chart or somebody else's chart. Look at these 2 charts. Then looking at these charts, try to assess and try to map and try to give your own potential predictions about it. Best is to give predictions for say 2 weeks or sometime 1 month. Then check the behavior of the person with the transits and the dasha, and mapping with another person, that can be you or anybody else, how the person's behavior was. Then see how accurately you were able to map it. Once you will do, you will understand this mapping works beautifully. So these mappings which we had been traditionally doing only for marriage, they work beautifully when it comes to working environments also. So in continuation to this corporate astrology topic, only last words on this I will like to say is that this is one deeper experiment which has proven to be successful. We have seen success of this in stabilizing the sales patterns, stabilizing even the employee retentions in the company. And the biggest thing is that company can just move at the faster pace with the same kind of people who got the same visions like the company. So very important thing, necessity now. Include with the HR support from the astrologer. Don't just go in traditional system that when we are going to have a marriage, that's the only time we will do this mapping or try to do the compatibility. Employee compatibility reports, mapping them or creating compatibility with the team. And if team is large, maintaining the data and working upon it by looking at the annual patterns or monthly patterns, so that they know that everything is moving in the right direction and the same direction. Try it out and you will understand how beneficial it is.